Hi everyone, this is Model Muppet. How you all doing? Before I start with the commentary, just a quick shout out to those guys in the list there. Been playing with them quite a bit recently, been having some crazy fun. Now, I'm well aware that the title of this video may attract people that wouldn't otherwise watch one of my commentaries or particularly watch Gotham City Impostors commentary. So the gameplay is just up because I love the game. If you haven't seen it, this is Gotham City Impostors. Me and my friends like to play some kind of crazy builds and just really have fun. So enjoy the gameplay. If not, just kind of listen to what I have to say and hopefully it will help you. Now, first of all, I'd like to have a look at the numbers game. I'm sure a lot of small channel producers are aware that 48 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube every minute. That is one hell of a lot of competition. Now obviously that's not all gameplay commentaries that are being released, which is kind of what I'm going to be focusing on. But there is an awful lot of competition for us. Now, new YouTubers also have to compete with the established. Now, I'm fairly recent to YouTube because the price of high definition personal video recorders has come down quite a bit. So it's only been fairly recently that I've been able to get one. And there'll be a lot of people like me in the same kind of boat who are perhaps competing with people that have been on the scene for years. You know, some of these commentators will have thousands and thousands of subscribers and playing the same games that we're playing, and in a sense we've got to try and compete with them for viewer time. Also, I live in the UK, and we're always going to be behind the States due to release schedules. You know, basically a new game comes out, it gets released in the States a few days before it gets released here. And that means that when people are clamoring at that new stage to have a look at new content for a new game, we're already too late. Harsh, but that's true. So, what routes do we have to get our work seen? Now, we've got different routes. The main routes that most people will use is forums, Facebook, and Twitter. So I'm going to have a look at Twitter today. Now, we need to have a look at the difference between maintaining relationships and starting new ones. Twitter is not the right place to maintain relationships, in my opinion. Maintaining relationships needs to be done on your comment page. Make sure that you answer to every comment, etc. Make sure that you encourage discussion. Maintain relationships on games forums, through emails, through Facebook, all those sorts of things. That's not really what Twitter is about. Forums are a good place. If it's an established game though, again, we could be behind the curve. Just say, for example, you're a new commentator, you've just picked up Gotham City Impostors. Not only are you going to have to compete with me, but you're going to have to compete with people who have 10 times, 20 times, 50 times the viewers that I get. So again, there's a lot of competition if you're already in an established game. Now, some games have a very big audience, you know, your Call of Duties and stuff. I'm pretty much addicted to Gotham City Impostors, so I potentially have a much smaller audience, but in another way, I'm potentially competing against a lot less people who are producing Gotham City Impostors videos and commentaries. Now, we have to recognise, I'm sure you're aware of this, that first of all, not all gamers read forums. So you can be extremely active on the forums, and that will certainly help it be a good thing, and hopefully it'll be an enjoyable thing. You know, it shouldn't be work to go on forums and, you know, participate in what's going on. But you're still going to reach a kind of hardcore audience there. And again, if this is a game that you're late to joining, sometimes, sad facts of life, but it's true, breaking the already existing cliques that occur within such forums can be impossible. So forums, Facebooks, your friends list, they're kind of all the same in that those people already know that you have a channel. They don't need telling with every video release that you do. Now Facebook I see mainly as a world of people you already know. Put me right, if I'm wrong on this, put me right, I'm happy. When we're looking at Twitter, what I think Twitter is good for is announcing to the world who you are, and these are people who don't know you. So, what Twitter is not good for, it's not good for private conversations or personal conversations, because the whole world is going to see them. And it's not good for increasing the depth of relationships, because the amount that you can post on a Twitter is limited to 140 characters. So this isn't the ideal place for that. That, like I say, should be done on your comments page, on forums, on your Facebook page, those sort of places. What it is good for, though, it's good for advertising your participation in the small channel community. So if you post a like and a share on Twitter, not only does that help the person that you've posted a Twitter about, that you've liked their YouTube video, but it demonstrates to the Twitter world that you're not just self-obsessed, you know, that you do try and help support other people. So that can be a sort of reciprocal thing. You know, if you post that you like somebody else's video, they're going to be far more inclined to have a look at one of yours, and if they like it, hopefully they'll do the same back. Twitter is good for showing people who've never heard of you that you exist. Right? It doesn't say, right, you've added me as a follower, or I've added you as a follower, so now you have to go and watch my videos. Of course it doesn't do that, but it does reach somebody that otherwise you might not have reached. So for example, I'll send a tweet to @Gotham Impostors. That tweet will be seen not just by the people who follow me, but by anyone who follows that @Gotham Impostors name. What can be absolutely golden is then you get a retweet by them. And you know, that will again be seen not just by your followers, but by anyone who follows @Gotham Impostors, which is going to be an awful lot more people who like the game than there is participate in the forums. I know this for a fact. @Gotham Impostors have thousands of followers, but there certainly aren't thousands of people posting in the forums. Now, there is a line that we need to tread between promoting your work and spam. I do say it's okay to promote a video, the same video a few times, as long as you've got several hours in between. And this is because, again, we're looking at a numbers game. Twitter is worldwide, so some people might see that tweet, and a lot of people won't even be logged on. And by the time they get to log on, there'll be so many other tweets that have come that even if they're following you, they won't have seen it. So I'd say, you know, as long as you leave roughly half a dozen hours or so between tweets, in my opinion, it's perfectly acceptable to retweet something a few times. Oh, excuse me. Now, need to discuss something here: the following to follower ratio. Now, what happened is people are only allowed to follow so many people on Twitter. Your first limit, I think, is 2,000. And to get above 2,000, you have to have, I can't remember exactly how much, somewhere between 80 to 90% of followers yourself. Now, what this means is that for people who are trying to use Twitter as a promotional tool, if they follow you and you don't follow back, at some point they'll get rid of you. Right? So it's important to follow back people that follow you, and it's important to at least maintain a reasonable ratio of followers to who you're following. That's if you do intend to use Twitter as a promotional tool. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of things like the honeypot theory, and this applies to YouTube itself. The more subscribers you have, the easier it is to get subscribers. They look and they think, oh, he's got loads of subscribers, he must be pretty good, I'll have a look. Or this video has loads of views, it must be pretty good. And it's kind of the same on Twitter. Might not seem very fair, but I think it's true. If somebody has 1,000 followers, it's a lot easier for them to get another 100 than if somebody has 100 followers. It's going to be much more difficult for them to get another 100. There's also obviously the snowball effect. Just like when you put a video up, it can go viral. That is every small channel's dream, is that they'll have a video that will go viral. Sometimes you can kind of have a mini viral effect and something just snowballs, and it's exactly the same on Twitter. You know, one good tweet that gets replied to or retweeted by people, that will then get seen by people who've never heard of you and might be adding you as well, and one day they may just check your channel out. Now, my personal aims, I think at the moment I've got about 1,300 Twitter followers. Sorry, I keep getting Twitter and Twitter mixed up. So my personal aim is just to break that 2,000 follower limit and reach the next tier. So that's playing the numbers game, but also it's to establish a group of followers who enjoy my content. It's no good purely just having numbers. You need to get the right numbers. You need to get the numbers of people who are going to be interested in the content that you do. Now, there are programs that can help with this. I do use one, I make no bones about it. It's called TweetAdder. Now, what I can do with this is I can put in a name. So again, I'll use @Gotham Impostors. And what the program will do is we'll find out everyone who's following @Gotham Impostors. And then I can send them a follow request. This does not break terms and conditions of Twitter, by the way. It helps automate what you could do anyway, but would just take you a long time. So what that does is then I send a follow request to everyone who's following @Gotham Impostors. So I'm not just aiming for numbers, but I'm aiming for numbers of people who might like my content. And again, there's no law that says they have to follow me. They don't want to, they don't follow me. They might follow me and still not check my channel out. They might check my channel out and not like it. But at least I'm getting it potentially seen by a lot of people who otherwise might not have even heard of me. Now, there are fake accounts on Twitter. There was some research done lately that looked into Facebook, and I can't remember what it was. It was possibly about 8 million fake accounts or something on Facebook, and there's undoubtedly millions of fake accounts on Twitter. If you've been using Twitter a while, you will also have some followers who are porn bots. And what they'll do is they'll follow you, and in their description link they've got a link to some porn channel. You know, it's part of life, it's going to happen. But forget those, just forget about those. I've got a mate who said that he reckons that he gets about 10 to 30% of followers watch his videos, and he's got approximately 100 followers. Now I think that I get the same percentage with 1,000 followers, so I'm still getting that same kind of percentage. You know, that's got to be good. What else? Well, some people would worry about the ethics of it, and they kind of think that it's almost like cheating. You know, I had somebody say, well, he'd rather have live viewers than bots. Now, I have no doubt that some of my Twitter followers are bots. Of course they are. But I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in the ones who aren't bots. I'm interested more particularly in the ones who share the same interests. And this is what I'm trying to achieve with Twitter. Now, I am, again, fairly new to this whole thing, so I'm just passing you on my observations and my thoughts. I'm sure there will be people who are a hell of a lot more expert than I am. I have done a fair bit of reading on it. I've actually read quite a bit on Twitter and how it works, etc. And these are the sort of conclusions that I've reached. I'm hoping that some of this may prompt you to at least look into it for yourself and help you grow your channel. Yeah, that's why I'm putting this out. Now, obviously, I'd like it if, you know, thousands of people watch this, but I do want to help other people in the same position. I am a small channel, but I've shown consistent growth, and I can look and, you know, I'll get 10 subscribers in a day on a day that I haven't put any new videos out, but I have added a lot of people on Twitter who followed me back, etc. So some of these subscribers are coming from somewhere. I don't think they're coming from the forums, because the forums just aren't anywhere near active enough. Some of it is friends of friends, which is, you know, always great. But I think that a significant amount of my new followers are coming from Twitter. Oh, and if you are one of those new followers from Twitter, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now, because otherwise this video is going to be half an hour long. I hope this has been useful for you. As always, do let me know in the comments if it has. You know I love to read those comments. And if you have liked this, don't forget, rate it, like it, subscribe, and share it on Twitter. This is Muppet out. Bye!